All right, guys and girls, this is Jerningham here. Apparently, a new variant of coronavirus has just been announced. I think it's another disease. We already know there's coronavirus. There's something new, another new one they're talking about, unless I got it wrong. So we're going to be reading on the TV, well, looking at the news channel after this news has just been on.
But you heard it here.
So he's going to be talking about it.
I know. Well, on we go. Thanks very much indeed. Let's just return to our top story now. A new variant of COVID-19 has been identified, which could be fueling the steep rise of cases in London and parts of the southeast of England. But the Health Secretary stressed there is no evidence currently that the new variant causes more serious disease or will not respond to the COVID-19 vaccines being rolled out across the country. Joining me now is Professor Robin Shattuck, who is head of Imperial College London's vaccine team, and as I said earlier, a regular on the news hour. Thanks for being with us. So this was unexpected, I guess. What are we to make of this new variant of the virus?
Well, right now it's unclear exactly what it means. Obviously, this
So
new
in Guildford.
variant we can detect because it has the equivalent of a barcode, so we can see it being transmitted. Now, it's not clear whether it's being transmitted more efficiently or whether this represents a significant event where it was seeded to a large number of people who've then gone on to transmit the virus. And so we're just tracking one strain that's coming through. As you said, the good news is it doesn't seem to be associated with any change in disease severity, and we don't expect that it will change the response of the vaccine, but groups around the UK will be looking at that very actively in coming days.
Right, so when Matt Hancock says it's fueling or could be fueling the infections in the southeast, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's more infectious than the original variant, or it does?
Well, right now, I think we don't have the evidence to answer that question. It doesn't necessarily mean it is more infectious. It could just be that it's been seeded into a larger population. Either, a lot of people have got together and have been exposed to this virus on more than one occasion, or there may be some individuals that have been, the equivalent of super spreaders that may have just resulted in more transmissions, and therefore we're seeing an uptick in this particular strain. But it's still conceivably possible that its transmission fitness may have changed as well.
Right. So could one get the previous virus and then get this virus as well?
I think that's pretty unlikely because we know that the immune response is fairly robust. Again, we will look at that to see whether it's escaping the type of antibody responses that people have made to other isolates.
It's like it's mutating into something else.
So we need to be cautious. We need to look at it carefully. But I think there's no reason to panic at this stage.
Right. And just to be clear, the vaccines that have been produced thus far or imminently will be produced, we hope, they are likely to be effective against this new variant, in your view, are they?
We think they're likely, but we cannot guarantee that, and so that's
Guildford, it says that,
we'll be looking at in the days to come.
And will this affect the trials you're doing? I mean, how will this impact on the trials going on?
Well, I think everybody will be looking to see what the profile is of this particular virus. But, we've seen events like this previously with strains coming up and people worrying whether the vaccine would work against it, and that's not been the case. Now, that still may occur at some point, but I think we'll see these type of events continuing to occur over time. And that means we need to remain vigilant and remain prepared that if we need to, the vaccines might need to be changed.
And we've heard that there are variants overseas in different countries. Is this likely to have come in from overseas, or could it equally have emerged here somewhere?
Again, we don't have evidence to answer that question. Yes, it could have been seeded from overseas, or it could have changed while it was here. It could have changed in an individual depending on their immune response and their ability to fight off the virus. If the virus hangs around for longer, it may have had more chance to change in an individual. These are all unknowns that people will be looking at very actively.
And so it's unlikely to impact the approval of or the rollout of the current batch of vaccines?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to interrupt that whatsoever. It would be very surprising to see that it's already managed to change in a way that the current vaccines won't be able to work against it.
Okay, final question. Is this sort of thing, perfectly normal with viruses and to be expected?
It's something that we would definitely expect. Viruses do change, and this virus so far hasn't changed as much as other viruses. It is something that needs to be monitored very carefully, and that monitoring is being done. I mean, that's why we've picked up this change in this particular isolate that's in London at the moment. I'm sure we'll see additional changes, and if any of those changes do result in a profile that changes potential efficacy of the vaccine, people will be on it very quickly.
Okay. Robin Shattuck, we appreciate your time once again. Thanks very much.
Well, by the sounds of that, there's another new virus that's come out. It's a bit like coronavirus, but it's not coronavirus, but it's another disease or something. I don't know if that's going to, they're saying, is it going to make it any worse than the coronavirus vaccines that are already out there? Who knows? Just have to wait and see and get more news on it. It's a shame for a lot of people hearing about that, but we'll have to just see. Thanks for joining this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, keep safe. See you next one. Guys and girls, peace.